What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another After Effects tutorial. Let's jump right in and see what we're going to be creating today. So as you just saw, today we're learning how to do this cool Polaroid transition. So this is a clip from Amir Zakeri's new POV edit. It's a pretty simple effect, but I wanted to do a breakdown on it because I thought it was pretty cool. But to get right into it, essentially all that's happening is the Polaroid is shaking, and then right here on this frame it kind of transitions to another shot. But without any further ado, let's hop right into it. I'm on a fresh new After Effects project here. Just go ahead and start by dragging your footage into the new composition icon down here. This will create a composition with all the attributes that your footage had. There's only a few steps. The first one involves tracking in Mocha. Go ahead and select your clip, go up to animation and click track in Mocha AE. This is going to open up a separate tracking program that comes with After Effects for free. So it's going to do this and then just click OK. Tracking this scene, you're going to see the true power of Mocha. There's going to be a lot of motion blur going on in the image, but it's going to do a great job of still holding on and tracking. We want to replace this image right here with our own image, so we're going to have to motion track this area and replace it. And to do that, you have to do some motion tracking. So just go up to Mocha and click the X spline tool. Click the four corners of the inside part of this Polaroid picture. Boom, boom, boom. Right click to end the spline, and then all you have to do is hit track forward. Mocha is going to go through and calculate the surface of your object and do its best to track. You might have to adjust slightly, but it should do a pretty good job and you shouldn't really have to move it around that much. So once that's done, Mocha should have tracked your footage correctly. Click Export Tracking Data. Make sure that After Effects Transform Data is selected. Hit Copy to Clipboard. Go over to After Effects, Control Alt Shift Y to create a new null object, or go up to Layer, New, Null Object up there. Make sure you're on the first frame of your null object and hit Control V. If you hit U on your keyboard, you can see all the keyframes is just created to try and track your object. Pretty much all you have to do from there is pick your two shots you want to transition to. I'm using a couple shots from the POV video, so I'm just going to go ahead and drag this on right here and then hit the edge and scale it down so the height of your image extends over the Polaroid, and then go up to the rectangle tool. If you don't see the rectangle, hold down right here and you can navigate to a bunch of different shapes. I'm going to click rectangle tool and then try my best to select the outline of the Polaroid. I'm going to extend a little bit on the edges. If you hit V on your keyboard, that'll bring you back to your selection tool, and then you can highlight these two parts. If you hold shift, you can drag in a straight line and then select the top two parts. Again, holding shift, you can drag in a straight line, and then I'm just going to parent this to null 1. So it looks like it's tracking well to this, but it looks a little weird, and something that you want to do is you want to enable motion blur, and that's really what's going to sell this effect. Click right here and enable motion blur for your composition, and then also click it right here on your footage to enable it for that layer. If you don't see this, go to toggle switch modes until you can see the motion blur sign. This helps blend the picture better to our scene, so when Amir starts shaking it, it naturally blends a lot better. You want to pick when you're flipping the Polaroid as fast as you can. So I'm going to pick not this first one because Amir doesn't move it much, but on the second one right around the middle right there, I'm going to fade in our next image. So I'm just going to drag in my next shot here and have it start right around that time, and then I'm going to scale this down and rotate it and try and position it right around that Polaroid. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing for the other one. Go up to the rectangle tool, click and drag and draw out. Then I'm going to hit V again to go back to your regular selector, select these two edges and bring them in to the edge of the Polaroid. While you're on the first frame, click and drag the pick whip tool to null 1 so it's parented to the same null object that the other one is, and then enable motion blur for that one. As you can see in the middle of this second Polaroid flip, it switches over to the next frame, but what we can do to blend that a little bit better, if you hit T on your keyboard, it'll bring up the opacity, hit a stopwatch for that, drag the percentage down to 0, and then go forward 2 frames. This will just blend the scenes a little better. You can even drag this out 1 more keyframe so it's a little softer of a transition, and you really can't see that at all. This does require a little bit of troubleshooting, like for instance right here on the first shot. As it starts to move, the scaling is a little messed up, and you can see some of the edges right here on the Polaroid. So what you have to do there is just hit M on your keyboard and then hit a keyframe for the mask path. Move this back a little bit, and then where you want it to adjust, just move this down so that it fills in those black areas of the Polaroid, and that makes it look a lot better. As your second shot fades in, you also want to go to your first shot, hit Control-Shift-D, and just delete this so it's not underneath your footage. If you preview this now, this is close to the final effect, and you can see right as Amir starts to shake, it transitions, and when you play it back at full speed, you really can't tell with all the motion blur that's going on. It's a really cool transition. Something that helps sell the effect is dropping the opacity. So I'm going to drop the opacity here to like 80% maybe like 75. This is going to bring in a little bit of the Polaroid and make this look a little darker. So when our second shot keyframes in, I'm going to change the keyframe value to 75 for the second keyframe. Then go to the effects and presets, type in curves, and drop that onto our first clip. Bring this down till it looks like it matches with your environment the best. This is shot at sunset when it's somewhat dark. You want to drag this layer down to where it looks like it matches with the environment the most. Hit Control C, and then Control V, paste it over onto our second shot. Select both layers again, hit F on your keyboard, and then select both masks, and then change this to like 15. This is going to help the pictures blend a lot more naturally with the scene because the edge was super sharp. You can do less, you can do more. This is all about experimentation with yourself and what looks best with your effects and what you shot. So if we go ahead and preview this, we can see the final effect. Amir shakes the Polaroid and it transitions to our next scene. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned something. If you did, hit the like button. If you didn't, leave a dislike and tell me how I can improve my teaching methods for the future. And as always, comment down below if you have any additional questions. I respond to all comments. I'm uploading video every single day for the rest of 2017. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, bye. Peace, peace.